Hi, gentlemen. I'd like to talk to you about doing yoga in part two of a three-part series on yoga for guys. So, last time I talked about what to wear, how to show up, where to place yourself in the class. The number one question that I get from guys is, what do I wear to yoga? And I talked about that in my last video. The number two question that I get from guys is, what if I fart? Okay, let me tell you this. I've taught over 3,000 yoga classes in my lifetime, and I can count on one hand the number of disruptive farts that I have encountered during those yoga classes. So I want you to know that you probably have more control than you think you do. And the other thing is, you know what? It's a part of life and we're all there to accept our bodies. So, should something awful happen, life goes on, right? Do you really worry about that like when you do other things in life? How many things could you just sit around and worry about and then it would prevent you from even living your life? So, honestly, that's really not a thing. I don't know really where that notion came from, but you're going to be okay. Let me just give you that gift. Don't worry about it. Another thing that I hear from guys a lot is, what if everyone else is better than me? And usually you guys don't ask that in that kind of question, but that's really what you're thinking is like, what if I can't, put my leg over my shoulder? And the truth is, if that's how you define better at yoga, then yeah, a lot of the people who are already in that room and they've been practicing for longer than you are going to be better, but that's not what better at yoga is. Let me tell you what makes a person good at yoga. The person who is good at yoga is the person who is able to enjoy the journey without regard for the destination. So if you are in a pose and you're just so stoked to be in that pose and you're enjoying that pose, and no, your pose doesn't look like the crazy bendy yoga girl across from you, but you are enjoying the journey, you actually might be better at yoga than that crazy bendy yoga girl who's like, look at me, I'm crazy and bendy. So, yoga is about coming out of your head and detaching from your ego and being able to cultivate some present time focus without the need for achievement and results. So, let me give you that gift as well. You're not going to be bad at yoga simply because your body doesn't bend like everybody else's. And let me ask you this. When you go to the doctor, do you usually go because you're healthy and you're feeling so good? Or do you go because you're ill and you want to get healthy? So, this same thing. Do you go to yoga because you're stretchy? Or do you go because you want to get stretchy? Right? So you can't learn unless you put yourself around people who know more than you. So I highly suggest like get out of the ego and just enjoy it. And I guarantee you're not going to regret it. Your body is going to feel so much better. Now, in my third part, I'm going to talk about the actual poses. So, what does a chaturanga look like? What does up dog, down dog, and child's pose look like? If you know about 5 poses, then every other pose in yoga is just some variation of these 5 poses. So, I'm going to take a few minutes and make sure that you're comfortable with those very basic poses so that when you do come into the room, you've seen some of them before and it's kind of no big deal. You'll have a little bit of confidence before you get there. So stay tuned. I'll talk to you soon.